Hi everyone, I'm Ricky from Tech Talk, and today I want to do a comparison against the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 against the iPhone 10. I will always start with the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. It was released in September 2017 compared to November of 2017. The Note 8 weighs 195 grams compared to 174 grams. The thickness of both these models, the Note 8 is 8.6 millimeters thick, where the iPhone is 7.7 millimeters thick. The Note 8 is running Android 7.1.1 compared to iOS 11. Storage options are similar but slightly different. So on the Note 8 you have 64GB, 128 or 256GB with the option of an SD card up to 256GB as well. Storage on the iPhone is either 64GB or 256GB, but remember there is no SD card. Their displays are the main pulling features for both these devices. So on the Note 8 it's a 6.3-inch display with a resolution of 1440 by 2960. That's a pixel density of 521. The display on the iPhone is 5.8-inch with a resolution of 1125 by 2436, which gives us a resolution underneath the Note 8 of 458. It's quite a considerable difference there. The Note 8 is using a Super AMOLED panel, and then the iPhone is the first one to use an OLED panel, which is a Super Retina display with HDR and True Tone technology. The rear-facing camera on the Note 8 is a dual 12-megapixel camera with optical image stabilization, video recording in 4K at 30 frames per second, and HDR. The iPhone 10 has a dual 12-megapixel with an optical image stabilization 2 with video recording at 4K at 60 frames per second and HDR. Their front-facing cameras on the Note 8 is an 8-megapixel camera with video quality at 1440p and HDR. On the iPhone X, it's 7-megapixel front-facing camera with video quality at 1080p and HDR2. When it comes down to power and performance, the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 has an Exynos 8895 chip, which is an optical processor with 4 cores running at 2.3 GHz and 4 running at 1.7 GHz. The Apple iPhone 10 is using Apple's new A11 Bionic chip, which is a 6-core device. The GPU on the Note 8 is a Mali G71MP20. The iPhone's GPU is an Apple 3-core graphics chip. This is where there is a considerable difference as well. The Note 8 is running 6GB of RAM compared to only 3GB of RAM on the iPhone. Battery life is slightly different as well. So as you know, the Note 8 took a step down in battery life compared to the 7. Battery in the Note 8 is 3,300 mAh compared to 2,716 mAh on the iPhone 10. So now I want to show you how well they perform in both Geekbench and AnTuTu speed tests. So let's run Geekbench 4 first. So as you can see here, there's a considerable difference in both scores. On the Note 8, we scored 1,981 on a single core score, and we've over doubled that with 4,253 on the iPhone X or the iPhone 10. Then our multi-core score is a big improvement as well, is 6,731 on the Note 8 compared to 10,495 on the iPhone 10, which is an amazing difference, and the specs would say that the Note 8 should win, but as you can see here, software and hardware working in partnership with Apple actually produces a better score, but does it make a better device? The next application I want to run is called AnTuTu. Then begin test. As this is running through the test, you can see the two devices here running side by side, and you can identify which screen is best for you as well to see here. You do have frame rates as well at the bottom left corner. We have the results in. For the Note 8, we scored 172,538 compared to 233,358 on the iPhone 10. So as you can see there, through the AnTuTu test, there is a reasonable difference. Again, the same that we saw on Geekbench results too. With these two beautiful displays on both the iPhone 10 and the Note 8, let me show you some 4K content that I found on YouTube YouTube that really shows some great music and video, and you can really see how these screens come to life. So both devices I'm going to put onto full brightness. The video will run in the highest possible quality, which is 1440p for both displays. So let's check out the Note 8 first.
Well, play me, baby, like an old guitar. I don't care where you stop and start. But days are lonely and the nights are hard. So play me, baby, like an old guitar. And hit me, honey, like a beat up drum. All the way till your hands go numb. All the way back to where I'm from. So play me, baby, like an old guitar. Sing me like an old love song. Baby, take me everywhere you run. It's been too long since I felt love.
Now switching to the iPhone X, I'm going to play the same amount of time, and then what I'll do is bring two devices in to show you how they look together towards the end.
Well, play me, baby, like an old guitar. I don't care where you stop and start. But days are lonely and the nights are hard. So play me, baby, like an old guitar. They hit me, honey, like a beat up drum. All the way till your hands go numb. All the way back to where I'm from. So play me, baby, like an old guitar. Sing me like an old love song. Baby, take me everywhere you run. It's been too long since I felt love.
Now we will carry on the video with them both playing at the same time, but the audio is coming out of the iPhone X. With that 4K clip of football from YouTube, you can see how impressive both these displays look, and you can make your decision yourself on which one you think is better. For our next part of our speed test, what I'm actually going to do is open some applications and some games. So first of all, we'll start with Twitter. As you can see, a lot longer on the iPhone. Next up is Instagram. We have a picture there that you can see, slight difference, more in-depth color on the Note 8. Next up is Geekbench. Very close there. Then we have Anatutu. Moving on to games, we have Asphalt 8 first of all. So the iPhone loaded up a little bit quicker, but it's still trying to load the extra added bits, but that's already running on the Note 8. The next one we're going to try is San Andreas for both devices. So 3, 2, 1. One, two, three. There we go, we can see both are up and ready to use. So if I just switch these around here, you can have a look at the displays as well. This is a great game, available in both Google Play Store and the iOS App Store as well. So going through my final thoughts of the Samsung Galaxy Note 8, I've had the pleasure to review this device now for 2 weeks, and it has been a pleasure. In that time, I've used the iPhone 10 and the iPhone 7 Plus as well, looking at the two and thinking, wow, there is a time that you do need to move on and change. People will need to change, and I think this is a device that could actually pull people away from iOS. I just think it's because of the display. When it's pushed up to its full resolution, it looks absolutely beautiful with 4K material compared to the iPhone 10, but it's just an improvement. The notification system seems to be working a lot better on Android now. For me, I don't actually use the S Pen that much, as I can't really see what I write on the display, but it's nice to have that added feature in there. The system works absolutely flawless. The Android side of the device actually works absolutely flawlessly, no issues, loads games very quick. We've been testing out major games here. The Bixby feature is nice to have. The accessibility side on Samsung devices are always top notch. Going through my final thoughts of the iPhone X. So why would you choose the iPhone X over the Note 8? Well, I have struggled with this question for a long time. Yes, the display is lovely. It is such a different display to have from Apple. The Super Retina display isn't actually as good as the AMOLED or Super AMOLED display you'll see on the Samsung Galaxy device. Don't be fooled. With this notch, that is bothering some people. It isn't myself. You do have some fun features on this device with portrait and portrait lighting mode, and of course animojis, but for me it's just not worth it. I keep coming back and keep saying that £1,000 for a mobile phone is just too much, and then £1,150 is just pushing above its limits. The RAM, the specs are weak compared to the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. In the performance test, you see the Geekbench scores, it was higher. It's hard to put together. You have the results on one hand and then you have the spec sheets on the other hand, and you're just confused. And myself personally, I like to have the home button. I know on the Samsung Galaxy device it's actually a capacitive touch button still, but it is still there. Face ID is just not my favorite on this device. I can't seem to get it working with my eyesight. I always seem to have issues. Yes, you do have a beautiful display. You have an all new design to an iPhone, but just keep thinking, is that worth £1,000? Thanks always for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or queries, make sure to drop a comment down below. Remember to hit subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all our latest news, reviews and unboxings. And if you want to stay really up to date, make sure you hit that little bell and you'll get notified as soon as I release a new video on the channel. Thanks always for watching, and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye for now.